We're addressing racism in nursing.
I'm an assistant professor at a university here in Orange County, California. I've been a nurse for about 40 years. My whole life, I guess, is what I would say. I love nursing, frankly. Working in the Red Cross Club in high school, and that passion and that desire just to help others got stirred in my spirit at a very young age. I found my calling to nursing, which was my grandmother had done it. My oldest sister had done it. She kind of got me my first job, starting, working in a med search area and then moving my way up in rank as charge nurse. And now I work as supervisor. I continue in that role, even in addition to my academic role. There are many what they call fossilized faculty, people who teach, and particularly in healthcare, but haven't really practiced in a number of years. As I'm teaching the next generation of nurses, it's important for me to also be relevant and current in terms of my clinical practice. I grew up in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Parents divorced at a young age. There was a lot of violence in my home growing up. I would say parents were not very cordial with one another. My mom was very concerned about appearances, what we look like when we went out the door. But what was going on behind the door was a different story. Only one in my family to go to college. I'm the sort of the first generation to do this in my family. It was a lack of support in trying to, for me, make a better life for myself, get out of the ghetto as I saw it. They thought I was being bougie. They thought I was getting too much education. I wanted to be the one in my generation to sort of set the tone for my nieces and nephews. I was just kind of always odd man out. Part of that oddness, as I later discovered, had a lot to do with my sexuality. I identify now as queer, gay, depending on how the mood is. And that has been sort of a rift in my family. There has been religious differences in my family. I was raised Catholic. Even though they don't get it, I think they're really proud of the PhD thing. I think now they like the doctor thing. Racism started in my nursing school with my director back in 1977. Short woman, never forget her, said to me, "Nations with an S. I don't know what you're doing here." That was her welcome when she saw me. Somehow, with this D high school student, got put into this ADN program. And ironically enough, I ended up with her at our last class. She taught the last class, the leadership or culminating class. Somehow she ended up pinning me. "Get down here, big guy." And she put the pin on me and whispered in my ear, "Oh, I knew you would make it." I don't get that to this day. I had 3 offers when I graduated from high school. I had been working as a nursing assistant forever. I had challenged the board and got my LVN while I was in my ADN. My first job coming out of the nursing program, big hospital in LA, brand new nurse graduate. They accused me of taking narcotics. I ended up suing them for that one because I was so upset about that. I think I had been framed. I was so excited when I got the offer to move up to San Francisco to go to school there because I think, oh, I'm going up to the gay Mecca. I'm going up to the city. It's going to be incredibly diverse and open and progressive. I get there and I find out that this school, in their 100 years of being, have never had 5 Black people in their PhD program at one time. So they're telling us that they're watching us, this little group of us that were muddling through this program with great difficulty. They would have these little diversity forums and they want to know what's going on, but they would make no changes. They were hanging the diversity banner out on the street as if this was going to be a welcoming place. And they could get us in there, and then they're less than welcoming when we got there. We'd have our little Black student union group where we would go and be able to find support among ourselves to get through this. Is how we were able to navigate this. And had I not been in this group of four other women who said to me, "No, brother, you ain't going out that way," I would have been long gone probably that first year. This is how they're welcoming us into the profession. And it's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. Yeah, I survived. It feels like I survived. That's what I say. I survived. Thank God for the love of friends. Thank God for the love of colleagues that were there. This is how they welcome us at this level. I wanted to be a part of teaching the next generation of nursing. This was my dream. Lip service to being supportive. Diversity, equity, inclusivity, they say. Why does my skin color matter? Or why does my gender matter? If I want to be a nurse, why am I not welcomed in to do what it is that I'm there to do? I do work looking at HIV in young Black gay men. My nephew tested positive, and I'm like, what's going on with that, with these young Black men? This epidemic has been going on for 30 years. I worked as a nurse, like I said, for 40, and I remember working at a hospital in Hollywood. That was my research question. And I knew when I applied there that there had been faculty there that had been doing work over in Africa with HIV. I interviewed with folks before I got in and found my match, and I found a faculty that I thought, okay, she's doing some stuff that I thought was a good match, and interviewed with her. Everyone's doing work in Africa. Well, what about the Black people here in the hood of San Francisco that are being impacted by this disease? No one's doing work in the community right here locally. Well, we're not going down to that neighborhood. And you shouldn't either. It's not safe. In recovery now for 18 years, almost 19. I'm celebrating no drugs, no alcohol, no smoking, and quit smoking cigarettes. Been on a path to find my own sort of spirituality, religion. I now identify as sort of a born again Christian. I've been at my church family since 2003. Incredible place of healing and support and love that I have never experienced before. My church family has been incredibly important to my life. I'm all about healthy relationships, giving relationships, critically important for me as I move through these different seasons of my life. We need more diversity. That's what we need. We need to mix this thing up. We still got too many white women. Structural racism that happens way downhill with trying to get these kids of color into these programs, middle school, high school, where these kids are already at a disadvantage. They're not advantaged enough to have those resources, those AP classes. They'll never get the GPAs required to become nursing students. Our students have GPAs above 4.0. In those big classes, I think that there's a disadvantage to some degree. I'm struggling with that somehow because I feel like there's racism among the students even. Keep dreaming of the day nursing becomes 50-50 like medicine has evolved over the years. It's rare to see a female doctor when I first started, right? And nowadays you got more women in practicing medicine than men. So what are we doing in nursing, and why haven't we made that shift? I don't know. When you get us here, as I now am aware of, having done work with men in nursing, that you need to be welcoming. You need to have places and spaces that are welcoming once you get us here. Genderizing, I don't know if that's a word or not, but nurse as she. Nurse she. I'm sitting in a class and you got a class with guys in it. Nurse is always she. Why not nurse can be a they? Have to begin to shift that language so that it can be more inviting to men. Perseverance for a better life. I think my own dream, my own goals, the mentors that I've had, that love and support, the friends that I have, the love and support, the family that I have, the love and support, keep me soaring. They're so proud, they're so encouraging. Kindness of strangers who have lifted me up in this journey, who have been there in the most amazing ways when I needed it the most. In times where I think I am struggling or I am challenged or I can't take any more or I've had enough, I find that there's somebody that steps in, that shows up in that moment and says, "No, brother," like they said, "you ain't going out that way." Or, "No, you're valued." Or, "No, you need to stay at the table." There must be a reason. There's a bigger path here. So I just keep doing the work